Good morning, students of 8th standard. Today, I'll be taking English Unit 2. Now, let us see the prose lesson, Friendship. Do you have any childhood friendship that are still strong today? உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது சின்ன வயசு நண்பர்கள் இன்னும் இருக்காங்களா? Do you make friendship with others easily? மற்றவங்களோட நீங்கள் ஈஸியாக பழகிடுவீங்களா? Share an incident that you remember proudly of your friends. Now, let us move on to the section 1. I'll give you a summary for the section 1. This is a story on the friendship between Vetri and Asif. Vetri was a successful businessman in Coimbatore. His Vetri Construction Company constructed many shopping complexes, houses and a few apartments in and around Coimbatore. After his father's death, he was forced to split the wealth to his brothers. From then on, Vetri found it difficult to establish his business. He could not pay the loans taken to run his company, so he sold all his properties and paid the loans. He moved to a very small house with his family. He found a job and led a normal life, but he decided to start a company again. No one was ready to lend him money. One day, his wife suggested him to ask his friend Asif for help, but Vetri hesitated to ask him for help as he had not seen him for a long time. After deep thought, he decided to meet his friend Asif, who was in Chennai. With this, we come to the end of the summary of section 1. Now, we will move to the glossary or the synonyms. Complexes consisting of many different and connected parts. Demanded, asked authoritatively. Establishing, set up on a firm and permanent basis. Decided, having clear opinion. Now, let us move on to fill in the blanks. Dash Constructions was once a leading company. Vetri. He took a dash to run his company. Loan. Vetri's friend is dash. Arif. Now let us move on to section 2. Children, see the textbook page on the video and read this section aloud. Now I'll give you the summary for this section. Vetri boarded the train to Chennai. His memory went back to his school days. They lived in a beautiful village, Keelakudi, near Coimbatore. Vetri and Asif studied in a school in the outskirts of the village Keelakudi. Teachers and the students would never forget Vetri and Asif and their friendship. They were always together in learning and playing. Their friendship started on the first day of the school. On the first day, when Vetri started crying, Asif consoled him with a chocolate and told him not to cry. After that day, they stayed together, played together, even exchanged their food. They were always good in studies and helped each other in lessons. One day, there was a quarrel between Vetri and Asif's families, but this did not affect their friendship. Their exam results and the marks never affected their friendship. After the 10th standard, Asif moved to Chennai and Vetri settled in Coimbatore. Now we have come to the end of the summary of section 2. Now let us see the glossary or synonyms. Boarded, get on or into a vehicle. Consoled, comfort someone at the time of grief. Competition, an event or contest. Exchanged, give something and receive something. Affected, cause a change in someone or something. Now say true or false. Keelakudi was the native of Vetri. True. The school was a middle school. True. Vetri and Asif were good in studies. True. Vetri never visited Chennai. True. Asif was a businessman. True. Now let us move on to section 3. I'll give you the summary for section 3. Students, try to read aloud this section from the video. When Vetri went to Asif's office, he was stopped by the security. Vetri told him that he wanted to meet his friend Asif. He directed Vetri to the receptionist. When Vetri was asking the receptionist whether he could meet Asif, his friend, Vetri got a pat on his back. It was Asif, his friend. Asif saw him through the CCTV camera and came down to receive him. Vetri was speechless and apologized to Asif that he did not get a chance to visit Chennai till then. He said that since he had come to attend his friend's wedding, he thought that he could meet him. They spoke about the school days, the fun they had. They discussed about their business. Asif took Vetri to his home to lunch. Vetri was surprised to see that everyone knows him. In the evening, Asif dropped him in the railway station. Vetri reached home and told his wife everything in detail. 2 days later, he received a call from Asif's office stating that Asif, the MD, had assigned a project to Vetri. With this, we have come to the end of the prose section, the section 3. Now let us see the glossary. Nervously, in an anxious or uneasy manner, astounded, shocked or greatly surprised, hesitatingly, to be reluctant or wait to act because of fear, dumbfounded, speechless with amazement, dropped, the act of a person or thing that drops. Now let us do the practice exercises. Read and understand. Choose the correct answer. Vetri went to Asif's office. Vetri came to Chennai to visit his friend. Asif saw his friend through the camera. Now choose correct synonyms for the italic word. Vetri constructed a bungalow. Constructed synonym is built. The brothers started a business separately. The synonym for separately is apart. I am living in the outskirts of the village. The synonym for outskirts is outpost. Asif quarreled with his friend. The synonym for quarreled is fight. He stood astounded. The synonym for astounded is shocked. Next, choose correct antonyms, that is, opposites for the italic word. The wife replied angrily. The opposite of angrily is calm. The vegetables look fresh. The opposite of fresh is rotten. Vetri had a strong will to start a new business. Opposite of strong is weak. Vetri was surprised by his friend. The opposite of surprised is unsurprised. He spoke nervously. The opposite of nervously is confident. Now, let us move on to the vocabulary and the grammar section. Now, let us see what is compound word. Compound words are formed when two or more words are put together to form a new word with a new meaning. Some important compound words using two nouns, noun plus noun. I'll just read 2 or 3 for you. The first example is head plus master gives you the compound word headmaster. Key plus board gives you keyboard. Cell plus phone gives you cell phone. Similarly, the words that follow are also similar compound words. Now let us do some important compound words using gerund plus noun. Do you all know what is gerund? The words ending with ing is called a gerund, like dining, washing, waiting, driving. These are all gerunds. This gerund plus noun. Noun is a naming word. So these two together will form another compound word, and let us see a few examples. Dining plus hall gives dining hall. Washing plus machine gives washing machine. Waiting plus hall gives waiting hall. Children, watch the video and you try to add these two words and make it a compound word. Next, some important compound words using noun and verb. Again, noun is a naming word. Verb is a doing word. That is any work that we do, like fall, write, speak, walk, etc. So, now I am going to add snow plus fall gives snowfall. The noun car with verb park gives car park. The noun book with verb mark gives bookmark. The balance of the set of words, children, you see the video, add them together and make compound words. Now, match the following compound words and write them. The first word is given. The second word is not in order. We will have to match the following. Match is suitable with box to become matchbox. Air with port to become airport. Blood with bank to become blood bank. Pop with corn to become popcorn. Sky with blue becomes sky blue. Hair with cut becomes haircut. Book goes with mark to become bookmark. Chewing goes with gum to become chewing gum. Now let us move on to some more exercises. See, choose the best answer to make a compound word. Which can be placed after soft to make a compound word? Soft, where. Which can be placed before light? Sun. So it becomes sunlight. Which can be placed after safe. Safe ku appuram which word can be placed to make it a correct compound word? Safeguard. Which can be placed after blue? Print. So it becomes blueprint. Which can be placed after water? We can place fall, so it becomes waterfall. Now, let's move on to singular and plural. We have seen how to form plural from singular for certain nouns. Now we are going to see the other form of plurals. Since you are in a higher class, you will also see other form of plurals. Some nouns become plurals when we change the vowel. For example, man, M-A-N, man becomes men. Plural is men, M-E-N. Foot, F-O-O-T becomes feet, F-E-E-T. Tooth, T-O-O-T-H becomes teeth, T-E-E-T-H. Goose becomes G-E-E-S-E, geese. Now here, US, the words ending with US, the plural becomes I. That is, US changes into I. That is, cactus becomes cacti. Fungus becomes fungi. Syllabus becomes syllabi. So, us, if it comes and you have to convert it into a plural, remove the US and add I there. Next, is changes into ES. At the end of certain words, when there is is, to make it plural, you have to remove is and replace it with es. Hypothesis becomes hypothesis, hypotheses. Oasis with sis becomes oasis, oases. Crisis, the plural form becomes, we remove the is and it becomes crises. Another form, changes into a. So certain words that end with la முடிகிற சில words அந்த remove பண்ணிட்டா அதுக்கு பதிலா a if you replace, it becomes a plural form of that word. So bacterium, after removing becomes bacteria as a plural. Medium becomes media because you are removing the and replacing it with a. Curriculum becomes curricula. A small note to the editor. Ajo, idhula next page 113 பேஜில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த ஸ்பீக்கிங்க்கு முன்னாடியே 5th கொஸ்டின் இருக்கும். அதோட ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இந்த ஸ்பீக்கிங்ன்ற இதை வந்து ஐம் டோட்டலி ஒமிட்டிங் இட். அதனால் அதோட ஃபோட்டோகிராஃபி தேவை கிடையாது. ஸோ ஹூஸ் பர்த்டே பார்ட்டி இஸ் இட்னு வருதில்ல, அது வரலத்தோட யூ கேன் ஸ்டாப் இட் ஆஃப். Now, we move on to a classic example. Add s to the first word in the hyphenated word. This is a very good example because many people make mistakes. I will show you first example. Passer hyphen by. So, the word that comes before the hyphen. Hyphen ku munnadi vara word edinga is passer. And the passer ku s add pannom. So, it becomes passers by. The next one is sister-in-law. So, the first hyphen ku munnadi vara first word enna sister. So, the plural becomes sisters-in-law. But many people make a mistake and always say sister-in-laws, which is wrong. Sister-in-law becomes sisters-in-law, brother-in-law becomes brothers-in-law, and runner-up becomes runners-up. There are some nouns that have same form for both singular and plural. We use the same word, like deer, it is also deer, fish, bison, hair, grass, furniture, luggage, and staff. For all these things, we use the same word. Now, we are going to write the plural form of the given words. The first 4 to 5, I will tell you. The next 5, you will have to do it as a homework. First, foot is the singular form. The plural is foot. Radius. How will you change it into plural? I remove the US and add I. Use that concept. Governor General. What should you do? Before the hyphen, you will have to add S. So, it becomes Governors General. Syllabus. You have to remove the US and write syllabi. Add I. Datum. You have to remove and add data. D-A-T-A. The 6 to 10 should be done to you by assignment. The assignment will be sent to you through mail. Now, listen carefully to the passage given and answer the following questions. Dear friends, this is Rahim. I hope you will lend your ears for 2 minutes on this happy occasion of the 13th birthday of my friend Rahim. Before he blows out candles on his cake and cut the cake to mark the first day in his 13th year, I would like to share a few words with you. Rahul and I grew up from kids. He is an open book for me and for everyone. I have observed the fine determination he is built with. His strong friendship had stood by me many times when I hurt him. He wrote over the sand. When I help him, he engrave it in his heart. Only if you are lucky, you'll find a person like him who brightens your day, lends an ear, and inspires you. I'm grateful to him for his life. He excelled in various ways already in his life. I wondered his ability to do well in whatever he found himself engaged in. Besides being a good student, he has done well in sports and games. He is always in the front line and bagged all-rounder medal in the school. I wish him all the happiness with which he should sail through life. Best of luck to you, Rahul, and may we always see you smiling like this. Please give him a big hand. Now, I'll ask you some questions. You will have to answer it through your assignment while watching this video. These questions will also be sent to you through an email in the assignment section. Whose speech is it? Wardle Rahul Engrave. Who is lucky? Who backed All-Rounder Award? Whose birthday party is it? Now we move on to the writing section. Arrange the picture in order by writing the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 in the given boxes. And write this familiar story in about 100 words. Actually, you all know about the story of Thirsty Crow. The crow which is thirsty, there is some little water in the pot. It throws stones and raises the water up. This is the same story. So, the first picture is the crow sitting on the tree. That is the third picture. The second picture, the crow sitting on the pot. The third picture is the final picture. That is the crow coming and throwing stones. The fourth picture is the first picture, the crow drinking water. There are some hint words given here. Thirsty, village, picture, disappoint, pebbles, water level. So now let's write a story. On hot day, a thirsty crow in a village searched for water everywhere. At last, it found a pitcher, but there was a disappointment for the crow as the water level in the pitcher was very low. The crow got an idea. It saw some pebbles nearby. It started putting pebbles into the pitcher. Slowly, the water level raised. The crow drank the water and flew away happily. Now, we move on to the grammar section, degrees of comparison. See the picture. The ostrich says, I run fast. The deer says, I run fast. The cheetah says, I run fast. Oh, they all say they run fast. So who will win the race? We need to compare the speed to help them decide. For example, let us think. Ostrich runs at 40 kilometers per hour. The deer at 60 kilometers per hour and cheetah at 80 kilometers per hour. We can see that the speed of the ostrich is lesser than the speed of the deer. The speed of the deer is lesser than the speed of cheetah. So, these are three ways to compare. That is positive, comparative and superlative. These are known as degrees of comparison. What are the three degrees of comparison? Positive, comparative and superlative. Children, please note this. This will be asked as a question in grammar. Now, let us see how the word fast changes to show us how fast each of them run. The ostrich runs fast. The deer runs faster than ostrich. The cheetah is the fastest of all. So we can see that the adjective fast is changing form to show how fast each of them run in comparison to other. The fast in the adjective அதோட form மாறுது. அதோட form எப்படி மாறுது? Fast வந்து faster ஆயிடுது. Faster வந்து fastest ஆயிடுது. இந்த மாதிரி form மாறும்போது யாரோட வேகமாக ஓடுறான்றதை நம்ம புரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். So, the cheetah, the fastest of all, will win the race. Now, let us see some more forms of these comparative degrees. We add er with adjectives to make it comparative and est to make it superlative. Superlative is the highest form. Let us see some examples. See, positive is fast. Fast becomes faster. when it becomes comparative. That is fastல er சேர்த்தா அது comparative ஆயிடும். faster. superlative எப்படி ஆக்குறது? the fastல est அப்படின்னு சேர்த்துட்டோம்னா அது superlative ஆகிடும். some more examples. tall becomes taller and tallest. small becomes again comparative ஆக்கணும்னா er சேர்க்கணும். so it becomes smaller. superlative ஆக்கணும்னா smallest because you are adding est. strong, stronger, strongest. rich, richer, richest. poor, poorer, poorest. weak, weaker, weakest. For most one syllable adjectives you can make the comparative form by adding er. Then there is another example. tall becomes taller in the comparative degree, and in the superlative it becomes tallest. long becomes longer, longest. fast becomes faster, fastest. And there is another example also. If the adjective already ends with e, adjective end ஆறதே ஈல end ஆச்சுன்னா it is enough that you add r மட்டும் add பண்ணா போதும் to the comparative degree. அந்த இடத்துல er சேர்க்க வேணாம். இப்போ for example large, அது already large ஈல முடியுது. ஸோ அதை comparative ஆக்கும் போது வெறும் r மட்டும் add பண்ணா போதும், larger. And superlative it is the same, largest. You should not write two e's there, you have to just add st. The same way wide you just will have to add wider just r, and widest you just will have to add st alone, no double e's anywhere here. For some adjectives you need to double the last letter before you add er. You do this when the last three letters of the word have the pattern consonant vowel consonant. That is one syllable adjectives that need a double letter. For example big. When big வரும்போது அதை வந்து bigger double g இன்னொரு g ஆட் பண்ணிக்கணும், bigger. அதே மாதிரி பிக்கெஸ்ட்டுக்கு அங்கேயும் இன்னொரு ஜி ஆட் பண்ணணும். பிகாஸ் இது என்ன காம்பினேஷனில் வரும்னா ஏஇஐஓயூன்ற வவல்ஸ் 3, அந்த வவல்ஸ் வந்து நடுவில் வந்துடும். இந்த சைடு ஒரு கான்சனன்ட் தட் இஸ் பி, அந்த சைடு ஒரு கான்சனன்ட் ஜி, நடுவில் வவல் இருக்கும் போது அந்த மாதிரி காம்பினேஷனில் அங்கே ஜின்னு வேர்டு எண்டாகும் போது இன்னொரு ஜி ஆட் பண்ணிக்கணும். இங்கே பாரு, the next sentence hot, the consonant is H, O is the vowel, T again is the consonant. The last consonant என்னவா இருக்கு? It is T. So you add another T and may spell it as hotter for comparative and hottest for superlative. In both the places you will have to add the extra letters, the extra last letter. Okay? Now let us move to know some more important degrees of comparison. For adjectives ending in y, we make the comparative degree by changing the y to an I and adding er. சில adjectives like happy, pretty, beautyலாம் yல முடியும். அப்போ இந்த இடத்துல என்ன ரூல் அப்ளை பண்ணோன்னா yயை ரிமூவ் பண்ணிவிட்டு அந்த இடத்துல I போட்டுட்டு erன்னு ஆட் பண்ணிக்கணும் ஃபார் கம்பேரட்டிவ் டிகிரி. ஃபார் சூப்பர்லேட்டிவ் அதே மாதிரி yயை ரிமூவ் பண்ணி I அங்கே போட்டுட்டு ESTன்னு போட்டுக்கணும். So adjectives ending in y. Happy becomes happier and then happiest. Pretty becomes prettier and prettiest. Now let's see two syllable words. For most words with two syllables or more, you make the comparative form by adding the word more before the adjective. That is adjectiveக்கு முன்னாடி more அப்படின்னு போட்டால் உனக்கு comparative degree வந்துடும். இந்த adjectiveக்கு முன்னாடி most அப்படின்னு போட்டால் superlative degree வந்துடும். So let us see some example. Adjective is beautiful. The comparative degree becomes more beautiful. Superlative degree becomes most beautiful. Important. Comparative is more important. Superlative is most important. And there are some exceptional cases where the word itself changes. For example, Good is the positive. The comparative is better. Superlative is best. Bad, that is the positive. Worse is the comparative. Worst is the superlative. Little is the positive. Less is the comparative. And least is the superlative. Far is the positive. And farther or further is comparative. And farthest or furthest is the superlative. The positive again is late. It becomes late, later or latter. And the superlative becomes latest or last. Then the positive much or many becomes more as comparative and most as superlative. Next is fill in the blanks. This will be given as an assignment and it will be sent through your email. Please finish the assignment and send it back. Now let's compare two things. Let's do this exercise. Which is faster, a train or a plane? A plane is faster than a train. Which is cheaper, gold or silver? Silver is cheaper than gold. Which is larger, city or village? A city is larger than a village. Which is bigger, a sea or an ocean? An ocean is bigger than a sea. Which is taller, a giraffe or a camel? A giraffe is taller than a camel. Now let's compare three things. The worked out example alone I'll explain to you. The remaining we'll have to do it as an assignment. It will be sent to you in the email. Please complete it and resend it back. Donkey, horse and elephant. The hint is strong. That is, the strength have to be compared. A donkey is strong. The horse is stronger than a donkey. An elephant is the strongest. The strong becomes stronger, comparative degree, and the stronger becomes strongest, the superlative degrees. The balance 1 to 7 should be done by you as an assignment. Next we move on to language checkpoint. Let us see what kind of mistakes we do while we speak. Jim and me are going to the beach. It is incorrect. The correct form is Jim and I are going to the beach, because we don't use objective pronoun me. Use I as it plays the role of the subject. The next one is you better to consult a doctor. This is wrong. You have to say you better consult a doctor. Don't use infinitive to after rather and better. Rather and betterக்கு அப்புறம் infinitive to use பண்ணக்கூடாது. They selected him as a leader. This is wrong. They selected him a leader, as it is not used with the verbs like selected, elected, made, appointed, named and called. Now let us move to the poetry section. The poem Lessons in Life by Daniel H.O. Bridget Bryant. What do you feel when you meet your friend after a long time? Building a friendship with someone is easy or difficult? Why? Think about these questions. Now I'll read out the poem to you. Next I'll give you a summary of the poem and stanza by stanza explanation for this poem. Having a friend is like planting a flower. Show love and kindness, it one day will bloom. Let's be aware as we talk on this planet. Even the tiniest creature needs room. Lessons in life aren't always so simple. Nothing you're given will ever come free. Even the smallest of gifts deserves thank you. I respect you and you respect. I think of you and you think of me. Remember, everyone here is important. When you are forgotten, it makes you feel sad. Know that you matter and you make a difference. Let no one shame you or make you feel bad. Lessons in life aren't always so simple. Nothing you are given will ever come free. Even the smallest of gifts deserves thank you. I respect you and you respect. I think of you and you think of me. Now let me give you the summary for this poem. In this poem, Lessons in Life, the poet Daniel H.O. and Bridget Bryant bring out the importance of friendship in life, and they add value to it by comparing it to the episode of planting flowers. Just like making a flower bloom, friendship also blossoms only when there is constant care, love, and kindness showered on them for a long period of time. Lessons that are taught by life come out of facing great difficulty. Similarly, every small gift has a great deal of effort behind it. One should respect it and never forget to say thank you. We feel sad when we are forgotten by others, and similarly, others feel sad when they are forgotten. Everyone is unique, and no one must be put to shame. The poet repeats the values of gratitude, love, and respect in the final stanza to make everyone understand that without these, no one can live happily. Hence, happy friendship blossoms and planting flowers bloom only with love and kindness reciprocated. Explain the poetic lines, the first two stanzas. I'm going to give an explanation. The first two stanza means maintaining friendship and taking care of a plant for flowers to bloom is the same. Both require love, care, and kindness. The third and fourth stanza lines, we must know that on this planet, every living creature, even the smallest living one, needs a space. The fifth and sixth lines, lessons we learn in life are not very simple. We cannot get anything free or without efforts. The seventh to ninth lines, we must thank the people who give us even the smallest things as gifts. We must respect each other and think and be considerate towards others. The 10th and 11th lines, every person in this world is important and he or she feels sad when people don't remember them. The 12th and 13th lines mean each human being is needed and he or she is unique. No one has the right to put another person to shame or to make him feel miserable. The 14th to 18th lines mean lessons we learn in life are not very simple. We cannot get anything free or without efforts. We must thank the people who give us even the smallest things as gifts. We must respect each other and be considerate towards others. Now let us move on to the glossary section or the synonyms. Kindness, humble, bloom, come into, tiniest, smallest, forgotten, out of mind, deserves, be qualified for. Now let us go to the figures of speech. What are the figures of speech? The figures of speech are simile and metaphor. First, let's see the section A, simile. A simile is a figure of speech in which two unlike things are compared using the words like or as. It is used to bring a dramatic effect in prose. Simile is one of the most common forms of figure of speech and is also used in poems as well as our day-to-day talks. Example, as blind as a bat means that someone is not willing to notice. Like peas in a pod means that two people are quite similar. ரெண்டு பேரோட behavior ஒரே மாதிரி இருக்கும்போது they say like peas in a pod. As wise as an owl refers to someone who is very smart or knowledgeable. Quite like a mouse refers to someone who is silent or quiet. As brave as a lion refers to someone who is too brave or courageous. Next, we move on to metaphor. A metaphor is quite similar to simile, as a metaphor also compares two unlike things, but a metaphor has an implied or hidden meaning between the unrelated things. Here, for a metaphor, we do not use words such as like or as. Unlike similes, which compare two things, metaphor directly states a comparison to the things that are in no way similar. We can use metaphors to explain an idea, but its literal meaning should not be taken. It is only to be used as a symbolism. That is, symbolism தான் யூஸ் பண்ணணும். அதை சொல்லும் போது அது நிஜமாவே அப்படிதான் நம்ம எடுத்துக்கூடாது. Like, my father was boiling mad implies the father was very hangry. அவர் கொதிச்சிட்டு இருக்காரு தண்ணி மாதிரின்னு அர்த்தம் கிடையாது. It means he is hangry. She is the apple of my eye. It means that she is very dear. Or I am very fond of her. Your brain is a computer. It doesn't mean என்னோட brain வந்து computer. It just means that your brain is smart and quick like a computer. Her voice is music to his ears. implies that a voice makes him feel happy. The given task was a breeze, implies that the task was not difficult. There was a man named Caesar in South Brazil. அவன் இந்த தெரு நாயங்களுக்கெல்லாம் அவனோட சாப்பாடே பகிர்ந்து கொடுப்பான். அவனுக்கு சாப்பாடு இல்லைனாலும் இவன் செஞ்ச இந்த வேலை இவனுக்கு அவன் வாழ்க்கையில் எவ்வளோ உதவி பண்ணுச்சுன்றதை I'll give you as a summary and tell you the story in order. அந்த ஆள் பேர் Caesar. Caesar was homeless and took care of 4 stray dogs. Then what happens? They take care of him during his time of need when he falls sick and is in emergency and he is unable to manage himself. So these canines not dogs, follow him to the emergency room at the hospital in South Brazil. They not only follow him to the hospital, they also anxiously wait to see Caesar. The nurses learn that Caesar forgoes meal to feed the dogs and fall sick. நர்சஸ் என்ன தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறாங்கன்னா சீசர் தன்னோட சாப்பாடை கூட தான் சாப்பிடாம பசியில் நாய்களுக்கு கொடுத்தான்னு. After that, Caesar returned safely reunited with the animals. Mamprim, the nurse, posts this in Facebook. The nurse என்ன பண்ணுறா இதை ஃபேஸ்புக்கில் போஸ்ட் பண்ணுறா. She realizes man's respect for animals and animals' faithfulness to man. And the homeless, but they are happy. So life takes us on some interesting journey, and having such wonderful friends with us on the long ride can make both the best and worst periods enjoyable. There is a homeless man called Caesar in South Brazil. He often sacrifices his own food to the stray dogs around him. One day he falls very sick and his kindness towards the animal comes back to him as they accompany him to the emergency room at the hospital in Brazil. The nurses are surprised to see Caesar, who was new to the hospital. They did not know his previous condition. They are surprised to see the 4 canines waiting at the entrance to see Caesar. Watching them, the nurse is impressed and posts a picture of the scene in the Facebook, stating, "A simple person without luxury depends on help to overcome pain and other evils as the best companions, and that the exchange is mutual." They wait, and Mamprim, the nurse, watches them reunite with their master in no time. When Caesar was offered food, he ate some and saved the rest for the dogs. Caesar has little material possessions and does not have any kin, but he has his warm and loving companions. Now, let us move on to the glossary of the supplementary section. Boomerang, coming back to the person that threw it. Medication, form of medicine that is used to treat. Incredible, unbelievable. Now we move on to the section C. A and B will be given as a PPT for you. Can you guess the meaning of the following words after understanding the story? Homeless, without any house or people to care. Boomerang, come back to the person who threw it. Canine means dog. Stray, dog found in the streets without owner. Health facility, health care. Colleague, co-worker. Accompany, go along with. Trailing, following. Wagging, moving the tail swiftly. Reciprocal, in return. Possession, own. Mistreatment, ill treatment or wrong behavior. With this, we have come to the end of the Unit 2. I have covered the prose, poetry, grammar and the supplementary sections. This video will be followed by a PowerPoint presentation of the question and answers. Children, please note down the question and answers, and then you will be sent an assignment through email to the concerned email IDs that you have given. Please do your assignments on time and send it back to the emails. Stay home, stay safe, stay learnt. Bye-bye.